The last bus wheezed away, its red taillights fading into the fog like the final embers of a dying fire. Alan stood alone with his suitcase at the edge of what the map had called Elderby Hollow. Even the name gave him chills. The fog hung heavy in the air, thick enough to taste, wet stone and wood smoke. The silence was total, unnatural. He'd come here looking for answers. His great-uncle Elias had vanished decades ago, leaving behind only cryptic journal entries and an old map that led straight to this forgotten village. No phone signal, no internet, and no one willing to talk about Elderby back in the town he'd just left. No one's lived there in years, they'd said. Best leave the past where it belongs. But Alan had never been good at listening. The village emerged from the mist like a dream dissolving into form. Crooked lamp-posts flickered above narrow cobblestone streets. Ancient stone buildings leaned in close, as if whispering to each other. Their windows glowed faintly, impossibly, as if lit by hearths no one tended. Strange symbols were carved into the walls, neither graffiti nor art. Some glowed faintly when Alan passed, not electric, not anything he recognized. He paused to sketch one into his notebook. At the end of the main street, a tall figure stood still. Cloaked in shadow, its hood obscured its face. It faced away toward the chapel that loomed like a blind sentinel beyond the square. Alan called out. The figure didn't move, not a twitch. When he looked away, only for a second, it was gone. Alan found the inn just as the sky turned indigo. It looked long abandoned, but the door creaked open when he pushed. Inside, dust blanketed every surface, yet a single candle burned on the reception desk. Beneath it lay a leather-bound book. His heart skipped. It was Elias's journal. He flipped to the latest page. The ink was fresh. They watch from behind the fog. They whisper through the cracks. Do not follow the bells. Do not speak to the figure in the square. The bells rang once from the chapel. He explored the village over the next hour. The streets were a maze, looping back on themselves. Buildings he swore he hadn't passed reappeared. Doors were open one moment, closed the next. The fog thickened with every step. Inside one home, he found a child's room. Toys lay scattered, untouched by time. On the wall, more of the symbols, etched into the stone beneath the wallpaper. In the corner sat a wooden doll with glass eyes. He blinked. It was facing a different direction than before. Eventually, Alan reached the chapel. Though every instinct screamed at him to stay away, his uncle's voice, faint and imagined, guided him forward. Inside was darkness, so complete it seemed to absorb light. The pews were covered in white sheets. A mural above the altar depicted villagers gathered around a cloaked figure. Their faces were blank. The figure's eyes were open, piercing, intelligent, inhuman. Alan's breath fogged the air. A low whisper echoed through the nave. You should not be here. He spun around. No one. The whisper again. You opened the gate. The journal held a folded map, one Alan hadn't noticed before. It pointed to a cellar beneath the chapel. Symbols covered the steps downward. At the bottom, a stone door. He traced the central symbol with his hand. It pulsed. With a groan like the earth itself waking, the door slid open. Inside, a circular chamber. Stone pillars, a stone basin filled with dark liquid. Reflections swirled on its surface, not of Alan, but of Elias and others. Figures cloaked like the one in the square. He heard the bells. 3 tolls, louder now, deafening. Elderby Hollow is not a place, Elias's voice echoed, though his body was nowhere. It's a veil, a thinning between what is and what waits. The village was a trap, a wound in the world, left open by those who tried to bridge it. Time was fractured here. Visitors lured in, by blood, by curiosity, never left. Alan saw himself reflected in the basin, then saw himself older, then cloaked. A whisper, the hollow needs a keeper. Alan stumbled back, the fog pouring into the chamber like a flood. The stone door began to close. He could run, or stay, and understand, and protect others from this place. Outside, the figure in the square waited, now facing him. The hood fell back. It was Elias, older, changed, still human, barely. Elias reached out a hand. Alan took it. The lampposts flared one final time, then went dark. The fog never lifted from Elderby Hollow. Maps forgot it. People forgot it. But sometimes, when the mist is thick and the bells ring once at dusk, someone new finds the road that shouldn't exist. And Alan, cloaked and still, watches from the end of the street, waiting.